went through the area. You know, it is such an incredible sight to see all of this from Sky 5, and you can see here where this tornado has just scoured the area and went through, and this is house after house, and these are big, good-sized houses right there. And you can see how there's one house here and one house there where one is standing and one is not. It is just what tornadoes do, is what they've always done, and it's what it has certainly done to more once again all these years later after it had recovered from the May 3rd of 1999 tornadoes. And they are looking at it again. You know, I was talking to Albert Ashford. Look at that. Look at all of that. Once again, Albert Ashwood, I was talking to him from the emergency management, and he was saying that the path looked very similar to that of May 3rd of 1999. And boy, you just see all of this where this thing just went down through, and it was on the ground for such a long time. And that is what is so scary and amazing when you look at all of that damage. And it's just house after house of people whose lives have been turned upside down. You know, we talk about this. I've been out to these tornado scenes, and things are just gone. It's as if it was put in a blender and just turned on. You can't find paperwork. You can't find anything that is left. And you're just lucky when you have your family and you have your pets that have survived through these types of storms. Of course, this storm hit just about 3 o'clock today, and schools were about to let out. We know there's major damage over at Plaza Towers Elementary School and the Briarwood Elementary School, Briar Creek, I think it is, there, that they both received major damage in that. We had a lot of kids that actually came down from there. Some great teachers brought them down into a neighborhood that wasn't hit so they could have sort of that sense of normalcy where they could be reunited with all of their parents and try to get them to their homes and try to get them back home tonight. I can tell you I-35 has been shut down all afternoon. Right there in front of the Warren Theater, all of that area, they've got command posts set up as people try to get home, because, and I've said it more than once tonight, that Oklahoma City is really not very far away from Moore. Moore is the bedroom community where people are coming in and out. They live in Moore, they work in Oklahoma City, so many people are still trying to get home. You heard teachers say, and people say that I left my office at 3 o'clock today, 3:30 today, just to get home and check, and they're just now getting over to the scene. Let's go back out to KOCO's Michael Seiden. And Michael, you were talking to the woman there, and she had a picture left from her house.
That's right. She had just gotten home from work. She went into her house, found a baby picture of her kids, and you know, at a time like this, those little things can be so comforting. But I want to show you guys down this street. You continue to look at the destruction. You've got homes just blown, the roof's blown off of them, the entire home's destroyed, a motor coach flipped over. But guys, I want to bring in James. James, first off, before we get into where you were, I know you want to let your family know and your friends know that you're okay.
Mom, everybody is safe. Everybody got out. Animals are all safe, so we're good if y'all are watching.
That is great news, James. Well, first off, tell me where you were, what did you hear, and what did you see?
Well, I was actually on Rockwell and Expressway when I heard the news, and my mom lives just a couple of houses down, and let her know that it was coming, and she had told me that, yeah, she's going to my grandmother's house, she's going to be okay. And so I just rushed here as quick as I could, parked about 3 miles down and ran in, and I see my mom driving out, and she'd never left. And I got really lucky. The only room left in her entire house is her bedroom where she was at. Just by the grace of God, it's just amazing.
So your mother rode out this tornado in her bedroom. When you get here and you got to wrap your arms around your mother, what was that feeling like?
You know, it was kind of weird because I honestly thought she was okay the whole time. And then once to get down here and find out that she had just actually turned around and came back home and thought she'd ride it out, too many emotions went through right then. My brother was over helping at the school, which is, it's pretty bad. And
which school are you talking about?
Plaza Towers. He was helping pull the third graders out over there when they found the teacher.
What's the scene like over there?
It's like a battle zone. There's nothing standing, no trees, no houses for anywhere around, no landmarks. You don't even know where you are, where you're standing over there. And I got completely lucky just being a couple of blocks over, and my house is completely untouched. And what really makes you think about things.
Yeah, walking up and down your street. I mean, we've been out here for the last couple hours. It's unbelievable to look at all this damage. And then I'm talking to your neighbors, and no one is hurt. When you see this, I mean, can you explain something like that?
No, I don't think you can. I heard they're even going to categorize it as an F6 or something like that. It's just the devastation is unreal. And just so lucky. And I tell you what, the people that have come and responded and have helped out in this neighborhood, just bringing water and food, thank you. Thank all of y'all for coming and helping. I really appreciate it, and so does my family and everybody here.
So many times, especially when we have natural disasters, we talk about that Oklahoma standard, strangers helping out complete strangers, and I can tell you're touched by this.
Absolutely. I'm actually a native of Texas, which the Longhorn had, but it's kind of like that curse here. Everybody's so nice, you never want to leave, and the Oklahomans have just been fantastic. Amazing.
We're not able to see your house from here, but just walking around that house, you said the only thing standing is your mother's bedroom where she wrote it out. What did she tell you about the storm?
She didn't get to say a lot. As she was leaving out, they were going to take her to the doctor and get her checked out as she was on her way out. And the guy from the rescue squad had picked me up on the way in. And so we took a bunch of water and stuff over to the school, Plaza Towers, and tried to help out over there. And as soon as we can get phones to work, I'm anxious to give her a call and see exactly how she is.
Just got confirmation from IMSA. They're reporting multiple fatalities, multiple serious injuries, but your mother's alive. You're alive, sir. You hear that, though?
And the kids in the school, you know, I don't even know what to say. It's just unreal. And just how it picks and chooses which house it's going to take down. You know, the house across the street looks like not even a window got broken out. It just, boy, it just really makes you think, and just grateful to be alive, really.
Did you ever see the actual tornado or hear it?
When I got close enough, it had just crossed this addition and was heading down, but you couldn't hear anything but just a loud roar. I was just worried the whole way over here, and got as close as I could to where they blocked us off and pulled my truck up onto a curb and then just started running, and it's just unreal.
What are you going to do tonight?
Just try to straighten out, see if we can get as much of my mom's things out of the house that we can possibly salvage, you know, and just start over. That's all you really can do.
James, I really appreciate you talking to us. It is honestly, it's an honor to sit here and talk to you. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad your mother's okay. I know there's a heck of a lot of work, a lot of cleanup, but I want you to spend time with your family. Have a good night, sir, and want you to know Oklahomans are behind you guys, and
we sure appreciate it.
If you need anything, we're here to help you out.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Guys, it's really tough just being out here. We have talked to so many neighbors who have lost everything, but the most important thing is they haven't lost family members. They have not lost friends. Obviously, we've heard those reports in other areas, but this neighborhood, very tight community. A lot of these people have been neighbors for years, and it's just heartbreaking to see this destruction and just really an absolute mess out here. But again, I know I continue to preach about the Oklahoma Standard, but it's been amazing to see how many people have come out here and offered a helping hand. And Paul, I know you've been seeing this all over the place, but really it's a nice scene to see people out here helping out.
It really is, Michael, and you see that, Damon. It is just amazing. I want to show you some more just images of what we are seeing. This is coming from Sky 5. I want to let you know, my partner, Jessica Shambach, she has been headed out to the scene. She just sent me a text message. You haven't heard from her, and here's the reason. We cannot get out on cell phones, okay? I want to read to you what she wrote to me. She said, Paul, we are a mile from Plaza Towers Elementary School. That is where the gentleman described as just there's nothing left. She is headed to that scene. She said they've been going for a couple of hours now, and she said it's gridlocked. They're moving at a crawl. She's seen people carrying in bottled water. It's a mile, but she just can't get out there. She's seen several emergency vehicles, so she is headed to that scene where it's being described as just nothing left there at Plaza Towers Elementary School. We have been in contact with Kelly Wells from Norman Regional Hospital. The big hospital there in Moore was hit, and they've had to transport a lot of the patients. We're talking about at least 30 people have been taken over to Norman Regional. They have stepped in and to help immediately. And they're over there at the big location of the hospital on Porter Street. Listen to this. At least 30 different walking wounded have walked in to Norman Regional this evening to get some help. And this is very important. I want you to know there's a little girl who is missing her parents tonight. It's really tough. I hate to hear parents and they can't find their kids. But boy, when you hear a kid, and we heard Josiah Parker talk about this a little while ago. He said, I don't know if my mom and dad are alive or not. I sent out a tweet. I asked you to retweet it. You did. Here's another little girl, 9-year-old Kayla Hawkins. If you know Kayla Hawkins, 9 years old. She is at Norman Regional Hospital. She is trying to find her mom and dad. But if you know her and you know her mom and dad, one, let her mom and dad know that she's safe. They've got her over there at Norman Regional Hospital. So that's good news. But also, call the hospital, let them know that you've been in contact with her parents and that they are okay and they're trying to get her, because you know at 9 years old she's got to be very scared trying to figure out exactly what's going on. We are 7:16 right now. It is still fortunately light outside. It's not going to be light for very much longer. I want to go out to KOCO's Ariel Reshef. And Ariel, you're there at the Warren Theater, where there's been a lot of damage. It does look like the theater survived most of it, but boy, the bowling alley did not at all.
Definitely not, Paul. The bowling alley basically is a total loss. Carson can pan over and show it to you really quickly there. You can see actually the lanes and where they might have stood before, but they certainly don't stand there now. Well, this was absolutely the epicenter of that massive tornado, and now it's become the epitome of that spirit that Michael was talking about, that Oklahoma way of coming together. I'll show you just behind us. I don't know if we can pan that far out, but there's EMSA on scene. Salvation Army is here. Several soldiers I saw come in from Tinker to try to help out. And I will just tell you that it's miraculous, really, how many people have walked on foot to this area just offering assistance, whether it's pulling debris from the area so that the rescue crews can make an easier path to where they're going, whether it's trying to offer EMT assistance. It's just remarkable out here, Paul. And if there's one ray of hope, it is that Oklahoma spirit. Back to you.
Okay, Ariel, thank you very much. I continue to get more news in on this on fatalities, and I do have to tell you tonight, this is just coming in from the Associated Press. The Oklahoma Medical Examiner is now saying at least 37 people have been killed in this storm. So that I'm just getting that information to you. We don't have any complete information as far as where these happened and more, but there have been, so many places where there's just nothing left of homes, just leveled, scoured the ground. Look at what this twister did. It just went all over this area, and look at those homes. Those are dozens of houses right there that are leveled. There is nothing left. And you hope people made it out of all of that. You hope they had a storm shelter. You hope they had a safe place to go. We know that at least 60 people have been injured, and that's just the number that we are getting right now from Associated Press. There's a lot more than that when you look at this. I mean, there's really the path. Look at right there where it's brown. That is the path of this storm, and look how wide it is. And from Sky 5, everything's really small. That is block after block after block of just nothing left except just debris. What a debris field this thing has left behind. And it was on the ground for such a long time. We saw it come down. I was tweeting out some pictures of this thing, and it's at 2:56 is when we just first started talking about it, and then I've got a picture of 2:57 and 2:58 and 3:01, and the sky is just black, and this thing is racing across our area more. It is just destroying so many things in its path, and it is just devastated so many things. Again, hearing right now from the Oklahoma Medical Examiner that 37 people are confirmed dead in this storm, and I hate to know it, but I imagine that the number is probably going to grow. I hope it doesn't, but boy, when you look at what's left and how everything is just scoured clean, they're going to be very, very incredible stories of survivors that are coming out of this. Let's go over to KOCO's Dan Thomas right now. Dan, where are you in all of this?
I'm over at the Plaza Towers Elementary School. And quite frankly, what's going on here is just nothing short of heartbreaking. There's so little information that we've been able to confirm. But just looking at the scene, you know that we're dealing with a real significant tragedy here, the kind that we haven't seen in many, many years here in Oklahoma. And that's saying a lot in a state that knows a thing or two about tragedy, unfortunately. The neighborhood around the school is demolished. Countless homes, we're talking about dozens of homes just raked off of the foundation here. The school itself is rubble. Cars tossed about, like children's play toys. Cars inside the rubble of the school there. We have it confirmed through IMSA that there are multiple fatalities and multiple people in critical. They would not confirm anything more than that. It's really nothing less than chaos around here because search effort going on in the rubble of that school. There's about a dozen or so firefighters with chainsaws and metal saws, reciprocating saws, going through that rubble. Sparks are flying. They're searching vigorously for something. They will not tell us who or what exactly they're trying to search for. It seems nobody wants to really be the bearer of bad news here. And perhaps the most tragic part of it is that the people who had children at the school are unfortunately very easy to spot in the crowd. It's just absolutely breaking down at times, just transfixed on the rubble, hoping beyond hope that somehow a miracle happens here in this search effort. But so far, guys, we've been watching it for about an hour now, and there hasn't really been any sign of hope yet. But they're not giving up. They're digging through that rubble vigorously, looking for anything. And so far, they just haven't found it.
And Dan, let me ask you, tell me about what it looks like there. I mean, the reports I keep hearing is that it's just almost barren ground.
It really is. It really is, Paul. It's hard to imagine. I was here on a story about 9 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, and it was such a cute neighborhood. It really a quaint area with homes backing right up to the school. You'd have to imagine that a family here in Moore probably thought that they had made a pretty good decision when they moved into this neighborhood, because so many homes were within walking distance of it, and those homes are wiped out. We've got recovery workers here from all over the metro. I've seen crews from Weatherford. Edmond apparently has taken the lead, although I talked to the incident commander from Edmond, and he wasn't even sure if he was supposed to have the lead in the effort here. So a lot of confusion here, Paul. A lot of very tragic, unconfirmed reports too that I really hesitate to pass along. But,
okay, Dan,
it is completely barren.
Okay, Dan, I know you are working very hard to get the right information out there, because
and Southwest 19th, any surviving students were taken there. So if there's a parent out there, a grandparent, somebody that just can't, and cell service is awful here, Paul, perhaps the best bet, if you're worried about a loved one, maybe to go to that church. That's at Eagle and Southwest 19th. It's just down the street from the school. That's where a lot of children were taken.
Okay, Eagle and Southwest 19th. Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it. I know we'll continue to check in with you. I do want to go over now to Kelly Wells. She's with Norman Regional Hospital. And Kelly, you guys have been really one of the first responders as far as hospitals, and you got a lot of patients from one of the other hospitals that had damage there in Moore.
Yeah, actually, the Moore Medical Center is part of Norman Regional Health System, so it's actually our hospital. We had 30 patients that were there at the time of the storm when it hit, and the hospital took a direct hit. All of those patients have been accounted for. All of the staff that were there at the time have been accounted for as well. We feel very blessed about that. We have transported those patients to the two hospitals here in Norman, which is the Norman Regional Hospital and the Norman Healthplex over on I-35 in Tecumseh. And on top of that, we've seen about 30 walking wounded people who've kind of showed and presented at the two different hospitals from different injuries, lacerations, broken bones, head injuries, internal injuries, and we have just been inundated. And we have a patient care hotline. We've gotten a lot of calls from concerned loved ones, as you can imagine, and that patient care hotline, people can call if they're wanting to see if their family is here or one of our hospitals, is 405-307-1366.
1366.
And we've got several lines connected to that, but as you can imagine, we're asking people to be patient. We are getting a lot of phone calls.
And can you tell me, you said it took a direct hit. What kind of damage is there over at the Moore Hospital?
Well, I tried to go up there, but I was not able to get to the area because of the damage you've been showing on TV all night is just devastating. But we did have staff there who've taken pictures, and the pictures are just terrible. I mean, it's pretty much totaled. I mean, I would say it's demolished. I think the second floor is gone. We had a north office building, physician office building, that's been significantly damaged, and it's going to be inhabitable, and it's just it's a terrible situation. But we are so lucky that everybody, all the patients first and all the staff, have been accounted for.
You are, Kelly, and we appreciate you guys being so willing to be that hospital that opened its doors as Oklahomans do. You know, I appreciate your time tonight, Kelly. Thank you very much. Look at the images that we have here, the video that our storm chasers caught of this tornado as it came through Moore. I just can't believe it. And you see the debris flying through the air in this. I was talking to Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane, and he tells me that Tulsa is now getting the debris from this storm. That's how far, 90 miles away is how far people are starting to get some of this. And again, you just see this thing going through, and thank goodness that our storm chasers have the experience to stay out of the way of this thing. They know where to go. They are putting themselves in harm's way to give you these pictures, but they have the experience to know how to stay out of the direct path of these storms. But it is certainly dangerous, and these things are so unpredictable. KOCO's Michael Seiden has been over at the 8th Street area in Moore, and just a lot of damage there. And Michael, you just continue to talk to different residents who are coming in to really nothing left of their houses.
That's right, Paul. Home after home. I want to show you down the street. You can just see homes destroyed out here. You can see vehicles just tossed around. There are down power lines. There is really, most of these houses are destroyed. They are gone. But fortunately, we have not had any reports of injuries. But I want to bring in Curtis. Curtis actually lives one street over from all this damage. And first off, Curtis, before we find out where you were when this happened, is there anything you want to say to anybody? If you got coworkers, family, friends out there, anything you want to say?
Just let them know I'm okay. It was pretty touch and go there for a while. Yeah. I could see it coming about, say, 2 blocks away, and the debris, and I'm going, wow, this is really happening. So I went in the house. As soon as I shut my front door, the door came back and hit me. So I just hit the floor, and all the windows just came in. So
what was that like, riding that out?
It was unbelievable. I mean, you hear about it, but to be there and it happened, it was just unbelievable.
And you look like, you look okay. You're okay, no injuries?
I was in the ball, all wadded up. But anyway.
What is that like, though, honestly? Like you said, living in Oklahoma, you understand tornadoes, but to experience that firsthand, what is that like?
It is something that you hear about and read about, but more. It really is, because you never think it's going to happen to you, and it does. And then you feel the pressure of the tornado, and you see the glass just sucking in, and everything just kind of going everywhere, and you just can't believe it.
We've been showing our viewers all the damage along this street. You're obviously a street over. Talk about some of the damage you're seeing over there. And also, you told me you could see the elementary school from your house.
Oh, yeah. I seen it. I could see it at one time, but it's not there now. And the houses here really got it bad. In my street, there's houses that are leveled, and luckily my house is not leveled, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And I've lived here in that house for 42 years, and I've seen some tornadoes, but I've never had them come this close.
After the tornado passed through your neighborhood, the fire department, they're out here going through.
I was there, within a couple of blocks, which was, dangerous, but I just wanted to see it.
So you've had a chance to